السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم إني أشهد أنك لا إله إلا أنت وأشهد أن محمدا عبدك ورسولك. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الأولين وفي الآخرين وفي الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين ويوم يقوم الناس لرب العالمين. صلاة ربي وسلامه عليه. All praises due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Al-Khaliq, the creator of everything, the one who commands be and it is. فَإِذَا قَضَى أَمْرًا فَإِنَّمَا يَقُولُ لَهُ كُنْ فَيَكُونُ. 2 weeks ago we spoke about the maghfirah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we look at the narrations on the day of judgment on Yawm al-Qiyamah and the way we receive our accounts or the way our accounts get taken, away every scale Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, وَنَضَعُ الْمَوَازِينَ الْقِسْطَ لِيَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ فَلَا تُظْلَمُ نَفْسٌ شَيْئًا وَإِنْ كَانَ مِثْقَالَ حَبَّةٍ مِّنْ خَرْدَلٍ أَتَيْنَا بِهَا وَكَفَى بِنَا حَاسِبِينَ. On Yawm al-Qiyamah, the scale of the adala, of the justice, shall be placed, and none shall be oppressed, even in the least. Now I'm going back to what we spoke about 2 weeks ago from the previous khutbah I gave. I could have your attention here, please. I know we have a distraction, but what can we do? Now, we spoke about last week how the Prophet ﷺ, he would seek forgiveness. And I mentioned the hadith where there were a hadith where he said, how many times did he do it? Not 10 or 20 or 30 or 50, but from 70 to 100 times a day Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam seeked his maghfirah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about slander or false accusations, وَتَحْسَبُونَهُ هَيِّنًا وَهُوَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ عَظِيمٌ. That means you will say that this is light. تَحْسَبُونَهُ هَيِّنًا وَهُوَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ عَظِيمٌ. And for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in His eyes, it is massive. Slander is not a little thing, as you can clearly tell by the ayah I just gave you. You could have, by this slander, this false accusation, you could have made somebody cry, somebody go through depression because of your statements, because of your foul languages. You have made them, you have leveled against them, and you shall pay for it. There was once a statement by one of the wives of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and just a reminder, actually 2 reminders, this is the birth month of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so try to send your salawat upon him, as well as whenever you hear his name sallallahu alaihi wasallam, make sure to always send your salawat. Salu al Nabi. Anyway, back to the topic where one of the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she made a statement uttering, and she was talking about one of the other wives, or one of the other people, where she said, oh, this person is short. You know, as in she was a short person. Astaghfirullah, the Prophet ﷺ said, Wallahi, if that statement was in the form of a drop of ink, it would change the color of the ocean. Subhanallah. How many of us call each other names and we don't even realize? And this is why we go back to the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ about seeking forgiveness on a regular basis, on a daily basis, morning, afternoon, morning, in the afternoon, in the night. You know, we would inshallah, if we ever did this, we would inshallah be doing ourselves a favor, for no one else, ourselves. Remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need your deeds. Did you know that? He does not need your salah. He does not need your siyam. He does not need any of this. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded us to do this. He does not need yours or mine. If the whole world were to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it will not increase the kingdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing will change. And if the whole world were to disobey Allah, nothing would decrease. Nothing would happen. So, if I do good, it's for me. If I do bad, it's against me. So we need to make dua for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us and accept us all. You know, when you're coming to the masjid, when you're engaging in an act of worship, do it with pleasure. Do it with the whole heart for the sake of Allah. Do it happily. Don't have a mindset saying that, oh, I have to do salah because I have to. I have to do siyam because I have to. I have to do zakat because I have to. Don't have that mindset, you know. Don't say that I have to do because it's an obligation. Oh, it's fard on me, I have to do it, or else this will happen. I promise you that the fact that we are aging and we are becoming older, as the days pass, sometimes we feel the bones to start to ache. I know none of us are at that age yet, but you know, for the Brother Aliyan probably, Allahu Alam, but you know, this is for the older people obviously. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the strength to do our ibadah to Him. Qulu ameen. Let's become aware of the fact that there comes a time, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you, then He has given you age. If you are sick, you have the chance to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you are sick, you have the chance to remember who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We really want that cure when we are sick, right? Doesn't it bring us closer to Allah? Like when you are sick, what do? You seek forgiveness. You say, Allah yashfini, Allah yashfini, may Allah cure me. Doesn't it make us realize that I have nowhere else to go besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? But when you're young and you're full of energy and you know you're doing all the things little kids do, and you know at this age, playing soccer, basketball, you know, you sometimes tend to forget about this stuff. You forget about death can arrive at any time. So we tend to turn away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is why the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, when you are young, bursting with energy, known as ashab or zurub shabab, you are one of those who are young and energetic. If you can still worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your youth, known as shabab, and you have still been conscious of Him, then you have developed yourself in a beautiful way. And for those people, there is a shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on Yawm al-Qiyamah. There are a couple of more shades, but this is one of them. The heart, my brothers and sisters, or my brothers in this case, is an organ that begins to pump before the soul is blown into the body. According to the Islamic teachings, when you see the heart pumping in the womb of the mother, it is not that it has a soul in it, but rather a muscle that is moving, doing its job, subhanAllah, and then there comes a stage where the soul is blown in. وَنُفِخَ فِيهِ الصُّورِ, and it is given life. There is a heart. It starts off like a little clot. In the Quran, it calls a mudghah. And what happens is when the soul is the soul is blown in it, and the heart starts to pump that blood, and then it is connected to the life of a human, as well as to a certain degree. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to fill our hearts with iman and righteousness, and make us of those who carry on their good intentions and make our deeds purely done for the sake of Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم. الحمد لله الواحد الأحد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. And that is why medicine talks about somebody being brain dead. It's a topic on its own, but there are a few things that Islam has taught about this. But if we were to look at this heart, if it is pure and good, when the body is pure and good, when a person is sick and ill physically, what do? They want to go for a blood test. Why? Because if the sickness in your body is in your body, it will be picked up. You know, this blood pumps through the heart. Blood pumps through the heart, so if the heart is diseased, what happens? The body will be diseased. Not just spiritual diseases, but physical diseases. Inshallah, we will continue this khutbah next time. There will be a short amount of time next time, but we are short on time as usual. اللهم اغفر لنا اللهم ارحمنا يا مولانا ارحمنا اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا دينا إلا قضيته ولا مريضا إلا شافيته اللهم اغفر لإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم ربنا إنا سمعنا منادي ينادي للإيمان فآمنا ربنا فاكتبنا مع الشاهدين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا آمنا فاكتبنا مع الشاهدين إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم بما تصنعون وأقم الصلاة. شكرا باي. أقم الصلاة. You want to do a Hanafi madhab or?
we're still recording.
Oh.